and welcome to Straight from the Horse's Mouth. Today I've got the beautiful, actually introduce yourself, tell me who you are.
Thank you for having me. I'm like so excited to be here. No, I am Victoria Wright and I'm from the charity Riders Minds.
Amazing. And when I saw that Joe had booked this in, honestly I got so excited. So just tell people what Riders Minds is. What is the charity about?
So I like to think that we're the UK's leading mental health equestrian charity. It started in 2019 because we knew that there was just something missing in the industry. God, it's hard. Like the horse world is hard. And we thought that there was just nothing there in terms of support. And, there's anyone that's suffering with mental health, like there's the Samaritans, there's Papyrus, there's so many amazing charities there. But if you picked up the phone and you said, I've just been binned in the field and I've lost my confidence, they're going to think, what? Like they're not going to get it. So, we wanted the help to be like there from people that got the industry and understood that. So that's sort of why we started the charity, because we realised that there was nothing there, and then it's sort of just grown from strength to strength, really. Yeah.
So rewind before Riders Minds. Where did your love for the equestrian come from?
Oh, God, I have no idea. Like, because I'm a lunatic that just has nothing better. I don't know. Like, I'm not from a horsey family at all.
Do you know how many people say that?
Yeah.
I'm not from a horsey
family. You're not from a horsey family.
That's why I want to do it more, isn't it?
Yeah. So, like, I was a weird kid that used to see a field full of horses in it and just go, can you stop so I can, go and pat the ponies or something? Yeah. And I just had a weird obsession with horses, and then, learned to ride, just became more and more obsessed, then went to work for people when I'd left school. And just never left the industry, and then I ended up that was how I met my husband through there, because he was a professional event rider.
Wow.
And then I just became his gopher, really, like, as well as that over time, sort of going around supporting him, and then that's just was sort of my journey through the horse world.
So did you compete as well then?
I did, yeah. I used to compete. I competed in dressage to quite a high level.
Yeah, amazing.
That was, and as I say, I've worked for some really good professional riders. So it's been tough, but really good fun.
As well as working for your husband as well at the time.
I took multiple roles within that, but having to do sort of look after him, but. That was kind of how I got into the mental health sort of side. That is obviously because he massively suffered with mental health.
Yeah.
And he'd sort of had a lot of mental health problems from being a young rider that he'd never really addressed or dealt with. And then in 2021, he tragically took his own life. I was just myself and my 3 kids left. And that was then when I was thought, actually, do you know what? Because Riders Minds actually started when he was still alive.
Yeah. So it was already started.
Yeah, and that all came about because he was doing blogs for Horse and Hound at the time, and he'd done one about actually how he'd struggled with his mental health, and then loads of people started sending him messages and things saying that actually, thank you for being so open about that. Like I really struggle too, and. Because he'd spoken about how he felt really judged, and now social media was involved. There's obviously a lot of bad stuff that can get said on social media and comments. So, he'd always really struggled. So that was the whole point why we set up Riders Minds, because we realised people wanted the help and the support. And then he was brilliant at giving other people advice and that, but he just couldn't help himself.
That's a lot of the times. It's true, isn't it? People. It's a do as I say, not as I do kind of situation.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably one of the biggest persons for that as well. It's rubbish. You want the best out of everybody, but not the best out of yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's it. And and he could give anyone advice, but he could never, he'd never take that. And, but I think it's a fine, knowing what help and support to get. I think everybody's different, and the same counsellor, the same type of therapy is not necessarily going to work for everyone. We're all different. So that's why I think it's important to to be able to, you know, offer loads of different ways to help people.
And an equestrian based one is the perfect idea for obviously this industry. I know I'm a performer as well, so there's performing therapists and things like that, so people who know about the industry itself and how the industry can affect people as an individual rather than just everyday life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that was, so we'd sort of put on the 24-hour helpline to start with, and then when I don't know, like when my world sort of fell apart when I lost Matt, and I thought, what am I going to do? I've got 3 like really small kids. I can't sit in the corner and rock. I need to do something. So like I wanted to also, you know, get them to help, to also want, you know, to their dad's kind of lasting legacy can be that they've actually helped lots of other people a lot, you know, not end up having to go through the same thing of what he's gone through. So that we sort of added then a text service, a live chat, and we've taken it in-house now. So the volunteers and people that answer those phones, they're all professionals, but they're also, they understand the industry. And we don't want like people to just ring it when they're in crisis either. We want them to pick up the phone and speak to us, even if they've just had a bad day. And you know, they're on a bitchy yard, or they've lost their confidence, or they've got bullying or something like that going on, maybe at at uni or at a college or something, and they don't know how to deal with that. We want to guide them through that so that they don't ever get to a point where they think, God, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier about equestrians that love to sit and down and like go, sit there and what they do with that horse, blah, blah, blah. We talk so much about other people rather than talk about ourselves and our own issues. Sometimes I think people, I say we, I don't do it myself, but like people sit and talk about other people to make themselves feel better, but actually it never does. So I don't know why. You know, it just makes other people feel worse, which in hindsight would make you feel worse.
Yeah, I mean, God, we just need to spend like if people spent more time talking to one another rather than about each other, I think that the world would just be such a better place. But it is just one thing. Like you go anywhere, and I think it's like you go to like a horse show or a yard, and it's like an episode of bloody EastEnders. Yeah, you walk in and they'll be like, they've done this, they've done that, next again.
It was turned up.
Yeah, so, and it's like, you know, it's almost like, even at a show, thinking, oh, what do they think they were looking like wearing that? Or their boot, you know, no one's going to turn around and go, oh, your zip's broke on your boot, like do that up, or like just, I mean, some people do, don't get me wrong, it is like some people are right thing, but I don't know, I just think that it's quite
no, I agree.
It is quite a bitchy world, and I think that's what makes the industry so tough. And I just sometimes think that it would be nice to be able to, for people to just think a little bit more about what they're doing or maybe what they're saying.
Yeah, and I think it's the anxiety of going into a show ring anyway is pretty high, because one thing, you sat on an animal that you don't know what it's going to do. You like think it's going to do what you want it to do, but it might not want to, And then to add on top of that, what are they thinking? Not what the judge is thinking, but what are they thinking? What if I fall off? What are people going to say about me? I mean, I've had fall after fall, like, and I remember one that bad. I don't even remember the fall, so I can't even think about what other people were thinking. But after that, I had people messaging saying, "Hope you're all right," blah, blah, blah. But then it started the caring messages kind of disappeared, and I won't say there weren't any negative messages, but in my head there was, well, next time I go there, people are going to be laughing. Or, you know, already then the anxiety of then going to that show again is doubled.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, you put pressure on yourself anyway going, because it's, even if no one else is putting that pressure on you, you're putting it on yourself because you want to do better than you did the last time. So you've already got the pressure of that, and then you feel people are watching you. I know, even if there was literally the judge and the writer, I would still feel like that they were then like giving me the eyes, like looking at me thinking, oh my God, she's terrible. And then you'd sort of, but that was what I used to think. And the reality is they're probably not thinking that at all. Nobody's doing it, but that's the pressure that you're putting on yourself. And it's like, it's you have all of those things attached with it, and then even I think because you're always wanting to be better. Like you said, it's an animal at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's also, you know, out of your control. It's not a situation you can control. So I think it's, yeah, you're always putting yourself under just a properly unnecessary pressure. And then, you know, even if you get a better score than you got last time, you're still going to be looking at your sheet, or you're still going to have jumped your course and think,
or you'll look at a photo and go, look at state of that, and I think, how did you do it? You won the class, but look at state of my position there, on my face is doing that. I bet people are saying that
you've won the class, but you're going, oh my god, could they have not taken a better facial expression than that? You're like pulling
you're
your
almost
like
embarrassed to win the class. I remember I went to a show years ago, and I was probably 16, so I'll link on in a minute while I talk about young riders, but like when I was 16, I was saying the anxiety of everything is just escalated. So I remember winning on this pony that, to be fair, were like £300, dragged out of the field 2 weeks before. Like, we put work into it, but it weren't anything special. And I thought, sod it, let's just chuck it in a show. We'll chuck it in this low-level show jumping ring and we'll win. And I went up against, and I was in the jump off with somebody who jumped BSJ. With this pony that jumped BSJ rounds for 10 years, yeah? We're on the pony. And I won it. And I beat it on this pony that had been dragged out of the field, that had done nothing in its life. And in one sense, I was looking at some people in the ring going, they were so proud that I'd done it. And the other side, I was looking at the people who were attached to that person going, well, it's disgusting that he's even turned up. You know, like, I felt I was ashamed to win that one.
Yeah.
The reality is that I go in the ring to win. Yeah. I want to win, and I've won, but now my head's going, I should have won that, I should have pulled it up. And let him win, because now I look like I'm getting grief, and I'm going to get talked about by them.
Yeah, and then actually the thing is, you should have just been able to go, I'm really like proud of that. I won, like hell yeah, I can do that.
But I couldn't. No. And the worst thing is, just as well, they were on my yard. So I had it for the week.
You had it all week.
So like my owner of the horse was like putting the trophy and stuff outside. Like it was a good show. Like, and we had the trophy outside the stable door, and every time they walked past the stable door, it was like a tough job, and I was like, oh my god, like get over yourself, like it was one show.
Yeah.
Because I think more, they saw the process of the pony and thought, oh, it's a load of rubbish, and then I got on beat them. But yeah, and I suppose, that links on nice to young riders. Do you feel like the young riders are changing nowadays? More so because of social media? I
do. I think that it's harder for young people with 100%. Social media nowadays. I think when I was a kid, we didn't have any of that. Yeah. So it was, you weren't, no one was judging you. It was always, you'd go out with your friends, and then it was, when the street lights come on, and then come home, and then you go back, and then it was, or if you wanted to phone them, you'd use the landline, but then someone else would pick up the phone and they'd go, get off the phone now, and then it would be, so it was, whereas now it's just, it's constant, isn't it? They're texting their friends, they're doing that, they're in all these, they've got all the Snapchat, stuff like that.
That's a terrible thing. Disappearing messages, things like that. So you don't even know if it's true, it's been said because you can't physically see it, or... Like, I growing up, I was just on the borderline of Facebook, really. So Facebook had just started, and even then, that were like, what the hell am I seeing? I know. So now, when you've got Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, all them sort of things.
And filters.
Yeah.
And filters. Not that I'm going to complain, because I am partial
to
the occasional filter, I'm not going to lie. Partial to the occasional filter.
Not lie.
Yeah, especially in the morning. Do you look like that all the time? Definitely. That's complete no, is always the answer. But then they're looking at things and thinking that that's reality, and a filter isn't reality. Yeah. And before, I guess, we've always had it with magazines and stuff. Like, I remember you'd look at like Cosmos or Ms. or, oh my god, it makes sound really old then. But you'd have all of that out, but it was not in your face the entire time. Whereas now it's literally in their face the entire time. So everyone's always comparing. They think the grass is constantly greener on the other side, and and they're probably trying to compare their life with somebody who's actually plastering about their life that's probably fake as well. It's not all as rosy as what they're portraying it to be. So it's just, I think it is really hard on them.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I think it's one of the phones nowadays are like, I say it all the time, I envy parents when they went on holiday when they were younger, when they just sent a postcard and they had nothing.
Oh my God,
I mean,
a postcard.
Like, I would love to go on holiday and not take my phone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you feel like you're stuck with it.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, and the kids are literally stuck with it. You constantly see the kids, well, anybody now with the phone in their hand. So, and as soon as something's posted, again, it's the whole of, it can't be deleted. It can be deleted at the time, but people screenshot them.
Yeah.
You know, people don't forget.
No, they don't forget. Isn't that really bad as well that like I can't even leave if I leave the house and I think I forgot my phone. It's then you
like
go back. Yeah, it's like you've lost your leg. You like got to go back. I've got to get that. I've got to think. And I think and young people now are completely like they're permanently strapped to the phone, aren't they? They are just you know they're living in that. And I think as well when it comes to horse results, things like that. You know, like for the eventing, when it's eventing scores, you look at what's going on each week, and they're always comparing what someone else is doing, looking at what somebody else is doing, what they've achieved, what they've done, rather than probably just sitting back and thinking, well, what have I done this weekend? What have I done that I'm proud of?
I've gone to a show this week, I must be worse off, and I feel sorry for parents a little bit because then they have to keep up with the trends and things like that, and it is hard, it is really hard, and things cost. So then people then feel like they're neglected and I haven't got that number and she has, and I think that's another thing in the equestrian world where there is so many different hierarchies of class, shall we say. You've got the top people who are like wealthy as anything, you know, they've got the big box, they've got whatever horse they want, they can spend 50,000, 150,000 on a pony or a horse for the kid, and then you've got the other end, which probably we're off, how I am, 300 quid, you know what I mean? So it's like, but why should you feel any worse off than that other person? Because actually, it's a luxury to have a horse. And I think, like you say, with the riders' minds, I think it's just, probably that's a thing that people talk about, especially with the younger riders. And growing up now, I understand it more of looking back and going, actually, you are doing well. Like, you're looking after another being, and you know, and that animal, to be fair, I think I've struggled more in life now, not having my horses. Because I've not got something to say, get up. Yeah. And I say it all the time, and at one point in my life I had 4 horses, I had my own yard, so I were up every day, 5 o'clock, done, I had a routine. And I do stuff with ADHD, so I think that routine massively helped me through life. Yeah. To get do that, 5 o'clock, muck out 4 horses, turn them all out, feed them, go to work at 7 till 4, come back, muck them all out again, you know? Yeah. And it was my life done. And people were like, oh, you're boring, you just do the same thing every day, but actually, in hindsight, that's the best thing that I could have. And now, I'm self-employed and it's awful. Like, I really struggle massively with mental health, I think. Massively. Because I've got no routine. Yeah. So trying to find a routine with no routine is even worse. And trying to fit around other people's routines means you haven't got a routine. No. So I do, like I say, I always say, I'm a massive advocate for mental health because I struggle. And I will always take advice. I used to bottle it up. Yeah. And like you say now, even just the first step of just talking to somebody about it is a big step.
It's a really big step, and it's so easy to just put a plaster over it and brush it under the carpet. And I talk about it now because I was also guilty that I lived with someone that really struggled with mental health, and he, you know, at the end of the day, suicide is the biggest killer of men under the age of 35, and you know, he did not want to talk about his mental health, and I struggled to ever speak to my friends or my family because I used to think, if I tell them what he's like when he's not wanting to get out of bed for a day, or he's depressed, or because living with, you know, it is hard work, trying to coax them out of that, or you know, or deal with that, and then but it was so bizarre because it was like a flick of a light switch. You could be at home all day and he wouldn't want to go out, and then all of a sudden we had to then go out with friends, and he'd just all of a sudden go, right, well, and then when we get in the car, go to the friend's house, and he was like a different person that had never had and because then I didn't want friends and family then to be different with him, or to go, are you all right? Are you okay? Which they would have done if I'd have spoken to them and told them. So because I thought, no, I want them to be normal with him when they see him. So I then never said anything. But actually, that was the worst thing I ever did, by not ever just turning around to my friends and saying, oh, I could really use a bit of help. Like, Matt's really struggling. Can you help me? And if I'd have done that, then they probably would have gone, yeah. But I would still have been scared that behind my back, people would have been going, oh God, have you heard about what's going on with her? And that's the problem, isn't it? Whereas I think actually, if we can, like you say, stop talking about one another, stop talking to each other, and even if your friend ever does turn around and say, like, you've just said to me, I do struggle with my mental health, then I'd be, I'd think, God, like, that's an amazing thing.
You wouldn't think the worst of somebody, would you?
You'd say, that's amazing that you've just been so brave to say that. And then, like, do you think that the routine, like, help, how you said about the routine helps you and stuff like that? You would never judge someone on that. And I think anyone that then is brave enough to speak about it, you've then got to embrace and support, not then turn around and go, oh, I think that, because that is what I think people are scared to talk, why they're scared to talk about it. Yeah, no,
and I think when you speak about your husband, like, I see a lot of me in that. And so, like, I don't want to talk about what happened, but I've probably gone through the worst year ever in my life, and will safely say hit rock bottom. And it's something that I never want to talk about to anybody, because I don't want people to think about anything bad of me. It's all fine now, but I had to, because I think if I didn't speak to anybody, then I probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I won't lie, I don't think the NHS helped me out any at all. I remember ringing the doctors and saying, I need help. I remember saying it in the middle of a field and saying, I really need help. And they just kept saying, what do you want for Propanolol and surgery? And I was saying, no, I'm already on that. Like, I need extra help. All right, okay, we'll give you a prescription. My prescription was sertraline and Propanolol. So from that point there, I thought I've got to take it into my own hands now, because if not, I'm going to take my own life. I used to, well, that sounds awful. It sounds like it took a turn, but I want people to understand how important it is to talk to people. And I would walk the dog and literally go, I could do it there, and that was the turning point for me. Thinking, if I don't do something, Tom, you're not going to be here.
Yeah.
And I've got such a caring family, such caring friends. Talk to them now, and help them out. So I also went down, so that helped massively, but I also went down the route of spiritualism as well, just to, I think, put my mind to something else, and to put my mind on believing something could help me, which in turn did. Yeah. So yeah, it really helped massively, but I wish, one thing I've not done yet, and I need to do it, is the therapy side.
Yeah.
I think I'm scared.
Yeah. I think that you'll feel, like, for one thing, I think you're amazing. It's like the fact that you can even talking like yeah.
Sorry, I'll do that.
So I think that I think you're amazing, and the fact that you can turn around and say that will help so many other people.
Yeah.
Like Matt could never even admit or do that, and I think that, but like you say, had you have not got help. And then that would have been, like you say, that would have been the turning point in it. And I know so many people who have lost their battle with mental health, been on an NHS wait list. When you have that moment where you think, right, I need help now, and you are in that stage where you think, I need to talk to someone and I need to reach out for it. Like that support, and that's what, so like with Riders Minds, when that helpline goes off, that must be answered within 2 minutes, or that message must be answered within 2 minutes. And then the therapy that then is dished out, like, completely confidentially, completely free of charge, is then, if that person is in crisis, they will then receive that there and then. If they after they've sort of spoken to, and they're like, well, I'd quite like to speak to someone, that referral then is made, and then they'll receive that support within 12 hours.
Amazing.
Which is what needs to happen, because the thing is, once you've got brave enough to say something, 24 hours later you might not be brave enough again. You're just going to brush it under the carpet, and like you say, you've not done the therapy bit yet, and you know you need to, is because you probably feel you're a bit like an egg, and you're actually just going to crack, and you're a bit scared of letting someone in on that surface, because at the minute you've kind of like made that shell. I know I did exactly the same. I sort of like thought, okay, loads of stuff's happened. I'm just gonna like throw my entire self into driving the charity forward, like doing stuff with the kids, trying to like drive like business forward and that, and then throw myself into that, because then that's my way of sticking a plaster on it and just carrying on. And then when I'm ready to open up some of those wounds, I probably will do. But like you say, you've got to do it at the time that's ready for you.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And like I said, that day was the day, and all I got was knocked back. So I think if, like you guys, if there's that helpline there, ring it at that time, and you're going to get the care there and then of what you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just being able to make that phone call is just the biggest step ever.
Yeah.
The biggest step.
It is. And you know, and I think that never ever feel, you know, even if somebody just rang up and was just sat there in silence, it doesn't matter. Like, that's still the step to have taken to pick up that phone is a massive step forward.
Yeah. Oh, it's been great. It's been great. But no, I do feel like, so do you offer therapy and things like that going forward, or?
Yeah, no, so we do. So if like, and it's not just like basically someone needs help, they're referred to the counsellor. We've got our in-house team of counsellors, which is, and it's, as I say, it's all completely free, the service. Yeah. But it's not just one session. Like, if somebody, you know, we see them through the whole light to the end, you know, to the end of the tunnel. And also, if that form of therapy doesn't work for that person, and that you know, we've got young people which we've worked with, which we've then sent to therapy ponies, because we found that's helped them to find their voice again and to speak, or to, there's lots of alternative therapies out there, and we'll fund that as well. So there's loads of different things we do. It's
amazing, honestly. I think, I don't know about you, what you could do, I could cut this out if you don't want to do anything. But what if we did a little journey with me, with you guys, and
I love it, absolutely.
And we could document it together.
Yeah, I'd love
to promote you guys and the amazing work you do, and help me out.
Yeah, I would love.
We could do that.
Yeah, and just different. Yeah, the different. Even if it's you needing to find a different therapy, you needing to do a different thing, but we can document your journey with it, and like your journey with
let's
riders.
do that.
Let's
and
do
we could
that.
document it all over social media, which we
Yeah.
hate. But it just, I want, if we can say that this podcast today, you guys do an amazing job anyway every day, but if this podcast today can change one person's life, that's off, pat on the back. Like, I'm happy for that.
Yeah, let's
but
do it.
But I think it'll open up so many doors for people's lives, and also help guidance to people like you, like the guardian angels of equestrianism.
But let's do that. Let's do it, and we'll just do your journey.
Yeah, I think it's a non-judgmental, friendly voice / face. I've started finding that I struggle with phone calls. Yeah. Because I overthink phone calls. Now my anxiety is worse. Like, I overthink the phone call. If someone says to me, can I call you please? Bang, my head goes to what's happened, because of what's happened in the last year. So now I find scheduling video calls is better for me, because I can then judge people's faces and what they're saying. So emails and voice now, I struggle sometimes, if it's like a personal thing. Yeah. So I try to do more face-to-face or video calls, and that, I feel that's one adaptation I've done in my life to help me out. Yeah. To help that voice in the head. But that's why, as well, we've got the phone call, the text, and the chat, because we know that some people don't like to chat's a lot nicer, isn't it? People don't like. I think the younger generation love chat. Yeah. How often do parents say, just pick the phone up and ring them? And I go, no, I can't. Yeah. I can't ring them. Yeah. It's from I suppose my age down, it's like we've been so used to texting. Yeah. Not picking up a phone call, because texting before used to cost 10p. Yeah, you'd be there. And you'll let a five. So you couldn't do it, so you'd ring them. Yeah. Or you say, Ring me back.
Yeah, you would.
You do that or you go and see them. Whereas it's different now. It's so different.
Yeah. People don't like people, and that is our most popular thing. Is the live chat. Is people like to go online. They'll do the chat there and then that's what they prefer to do. Like it's rare to pick up the phone, like you say, and just even like people would rather a business now.
Yeah.
Say like probably even like a the tax shop, anything. They'd rather email and say,
Absolutely.
is that in stock, than they would to just pick up the phone and say, have you got
Because sometimes I don't want to sound like an idiot and go, oh, we don't sell that here. Oh, I feel like I'm embarrassed. Well, you only spoke to one person on the phone, that person don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love to join with you and let's document, and so people can, and I'll be open as I can with my journey, and hopefully an insight that'll help spark other people to go, I'll just make a phone call to Riders Mind and just say, I feel a little bit anxious about listening to this, and actually you'll probably find it's not the biggest thing you ever think about, but at the same time, you're not going to say, this is not the biggest thing, but you'll talk them through in a way that they'll feel comfortable and
no, I'd
help them out.
Yeah, I think that definitely. I think that you know, it's so great that you're like really open about saying about your own mental health struggles as well, and that's going to help so many more other people. But yeah, let us help you at Riders Minds, and then
I think it's like I always use Robin Williams as an example, which is sad, but like I feel like I'm that like Robin Williams in a sense of I'm a character. So people are used to having silly Tom, loud Tom, confident Tom. And the moment I drop that, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
What's up? You've got a face like a slapped ass. You know, I think, oh my God, like, let me have a day off.
Yeah, you don't, you don't
but
want
now
to
I've
be
started,
like that,
because I've got my own home, I have that day off and just lock myself away.
Yeah.
Which I've started to realise, that's okay.
Yeah.
You can have a day off.
You can have a day off.
So you can have a day off where you go, do you know what? I want to be in my comfies, I want to look a mess.
Yeah.
I want to feel a mess. I want to watch crap telly.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But before, especially when you're living at home and there's people seeing you all the time, especially at a yard, I think that's linking back to the equestrianism. If you run a big yard, like I've been on yards where there's been like 100 horses on it, like or like, so you're gonna see somebody. And there's days where you go, I just don't want to see anybody. So you put your headphones in, you start looking at, next thing you know, it's and you think, oh, I just don't want to speak. But I think what you guys do, even if they feel like that, they could ring up the day before they go to the horses and go, I just feel like this today, and just have a chat, and again, just it's like opening that little seal to let all that pressure out.
Yeah. Yeah. It is, because actually there are some days where when everyone goes to you, morning Tom, that you want to turn around and just go, all right, we're not, just go, hiya. Otherwise then they'll go, what's up with him this morning? Why is he doing that? And actually there's nothing wrong with you that day. You just think, I just want to.
So what do I?
No, I'm listening to my music, or I've just got to a really good bit on this podcast.
Yeah, on Straight from the Horse's Mouth. Sure, I'm listening to myself. No, it's true. So, where can the listeners find you? Where can they find out all your information, all your what you do for them?
If they went to www.ridersminds.org, all the information is on there.
Yeah.
And then also, if anyone did need any support, there's just directly click-throughs to the live chat on there, and to the text and helpline as well. Yeah.
So, and it's quite a nice website to use. It's dead easy to use. It's dead simple. There's no jargon. It's straight to the point.
Yeah, and
which I like.
There's also loads of self-help tools on there as well. Like there's a mental health checker, just of how are you feeling today.
Yeah, saw that.
So people can use that if they want to. If they've had a fall and they're worried about concussion, there's a concussion checker on there too. But yeah, loads of tools, loads of self-help tips as well. And also we've got some really good like inspirational stories on there as well, where people have shared their experience of mental health too. So plenty of information on there if anyone needs any support.
And again, the people you're talking to on these lines are people in the equestrian world. They know exactly. If you say I did X, Y, and Z over a cross pole, they'll know what you're talking about. You don't have to explain yourself to them, I suppose. No,
you're not going to have to explain that. They'll know what an oxer is. It's absolutely fine. They'll know all of that. And also, like if people have lost a horse, there's the grief side of all of that you know, wouldn't necessarily someone that's not horsey wouldn't get that, you know, so it's all relatable.
I know, I love it, and I can't wait to start my journey with you.
I can't wait for you to start your journey.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great, because I think a lot of people who listen to the podcast were fans of, I hope, of Tack Shop Tom, who was 5-6 years ago. You know, I was a lot younger, I was 21, 22, daft, silly, and don't get me wrong, I still am that person, but also no worries in the world.
Yeah.
No, there was a little bit of anxiety there, but I swanned it off with my...
Swanned it off.
Jazz hands it off. And I just did stupid stuff like getting in a bikini in a car park and then pretending to be attached till having a shower. You know, I didn't care. From that to now, it's a totally different person. So I think just age doesn't help, does it? But also life experiences. So it'll be really nice, I hope humbling, to see for other people to be like, go, oh my God, this is Tom's journey, and then what Rad's Minds have done, and again, like I say, if they then put that number in the phone or that email address, save as a favourite on the bookmarks, we've done something.
Exactly, we've done something. Well, have you stood in a bikini in the car park in no
time?
No time!
Oh, I got this on a random. No, thank you ever so much for coming. I've got loads of questions to ask you, but you know what? I think you've got to the point today, and I think I've thrown the iPad away. It's been an enjoyable podcast, this, and we're going to release this on World Mental Health Day, which is today, which is the 10th of the 10th. Tell me what you're doing for that.
So World Mental Health Day is basically based on a lot of workplace mental health this year. But our take-home message is just basically spend more time talking to each other than about each other. Yeah. We're encouraging everyone to have a tea and talk day, so to just spend some time together, make time for one another, you know, have a chat. And at the end of the day, we're all united by the same passion, which is horses. So actually, equestrians together, you know, stick together and help each other.
And every yard, don't tell me this, has not got a kettle.
No,
every yard has got a kettle. I mean, and some grubby cups. I think I bounced every virus going when I was younger. Just to drink out of out. But they've all got a grubby cup, and there's a yard manager who sits there smoking 40 a day. Yeah. She's got a pot of tea next to her all the time. Go and sit next to her. Yeah, environmental health will not be present on the 10th of October, so food hygiene rating 1 in most yards of the kettle. You know, get the tea out and sit together and have a chat. Yeah, and that too, it's great for one day a year, like promote it, but I think every day, make it, just rather than going around saying what's up with her, if ever you see somebody on your yard that looks a little bit upset or anything, just go up and say, is everything not, are you all right today? You know, just taking that step might help them to open up. And if they don't want to talk to you, it don't matter. But you've done as a person to help somebody else a little bit, you know, you're not come across too much or talking about them, which made them even worse. But I think I'm now a person who goes, are you all right? How are you doing? And things like that. Yeah. Rather than, oh, no. Yeah. I try. Yeah. It's easy, and it's our nature to bitch a little bit, I suppose. But as you grow up, I think we just need to unite a little bit more. Like you say, we're all in an industry that we all enjoy, apparently. Yeah, exactly. How many times do you go to the yard and go, I hate this sport, I want rid of that horse, and she's saying this and he's saying this, and I'm supposed to love it. I know, supposed to love it, and it's, and a smile can just a smile to one another, or even just just say something funny, like can just change somebody's day. Yeah. But it's it's down to everyone to do that. It's not just as you've had to do, just be that one person that does it for everybody. Yeah. You know, it shouldn't. It's everyone's job to do it for each other. Yeah. Amazing. Do you have anything else to add before we leave? Oh, no, I think I feel like I've not shut up for the last. I do. No, I think that's just the take-home message. Just everyone just stick together and like obviously we said the tea and talk day. Gin and tonic does apply as well. That's fine. Alcohol counts. G&T and talk. If you want to add Baileys into your tea, I don't know. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, a little dram never hurt anyone. It might open you up. Yeah. But no, I love it. And it's ridersminds.org.
Ridersminds.org, yeah.
And everything you can find out on there is on there to do with chat and messaging and phone calls, which is fantastic. And every service that you offer is on there as well.
It is, yeah. It's all on there.
Amazing. Well, thank you ever so much for joining us today.
No, thank you for
I'm
having
sure
me.
we'll see more of you now. Now I've roped you in. Well, no, thank you ever so much, and thank you, listeners.